Imagine Britain in the 1960s. Black and white photos turning into colour, narrow streets filled with smoke from coal fires, a nation finally leaving behind the hardship of war and filling its roads with dreams on wheels. You saw them everywhere, parked outside every semi-detached house, crawling through city traffic, taking families to the seaside on sunny bank holiday weekends. These weren't just cars. They were part of British life, symbols of a new, hopeful era. But today, most of them have vanished. Not because people stopped loving them, but because time, rust, and harsh British winters were merciless. Welcome to Motor Tales. Today we're going back in time to meet the British cars that once ruled our roads, and then quietly disappeared from them. This is their story.
Back in the early 1960s, Britain was changing fast. More families could afford their first car, the motorways were expanding, and British manufacturers were working overtime to give the people what they wanted: practical, affordable, and proudly British cars. One name dominated the decade like no other.
Car 1. Morris Austin 1100-1300, ADO 16. In August 1962, the Morris 1100 silently entered the world. Designed by the legendary Alec Isigonis, the man behind the Mini, it was nothing short of revolutionary. Front-wheel drive, hydroelastic suspension that gave it a magical smooth ride, and surprisingly spacious interiors. By 1963, it had become Britain's best-selling car. Doctors, teachers, young families, almost everyone drove one. You saw them everywhere, on high streets, outside council houses, and on family holidays. People adored its modern feel and clever engineering. But hidden beneath that brilliance was a fatal flaw. The bodywork rusted at an alarming speed. British rain, salty roads, and poor rust protection meant thousands of these cars literally dissolved away by the late 1970s and 80s. The car that once ruled British roads has now become a rare ghost. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Something so loved, reduced to just a handful of survivors.
Car 2. Triumph Herald. There was the charming Triumph Herald. With its beautiful Italian-inspired looks and tight turning circle, it became the car of choice for young professionals and driving instructors. Its body panels were separate, which made repairs easier, but also made it a rust magnet. Both these cars defined the swinging 60s on British roads. Today, you'll be lucky to see one in original condition. Car 3. Ford Cortina, 1962. Not far behind was the Ford Cortina. Launched in 1962, it was everything the British family man wanted: stylish, reliable enough, and with that unmistakable Ford badge that promised value. Mark I and Mark II Cortinas filled company car parks and suburban driveways. Young men modified them. Families loaded them with kids and suitcases for holidays in Blackpool or Scarborough.
Car 4. Hillman Hunter, Minx series. The Roots Group gave us the Hillman Hunter and its many siblings. Clean, modern lines and comfortable interiors made them serious contenders against Ford and BMC. For a while, they felt like the future. But like so many others, thin steel and basic rust protection meant their time on the road was limited. Many simply disappeared into scrapyards during the 1980s. Now, let's talk about a car that carries some emotion. The MG 1300. Yes, it was based on the humble 1100 platform, but MG gave it twin carburetors, sportier tuning, and that famous octagon badge. It was the hot version of Britain's favourite family car. Enthusiasts loved it. It had spirit, it had character, but it shared the same rust problems as its siblings. And because it was a performance-oriented variant, fewer were made. Today, finding a good MG 1300 is genuinely difficult.
a car that once brought a smile to so many drivers, is now mostly a memory.
Car 6, Vauxhall Victor and VX 490. Across in Luton, Vauxhall was giving strong competition with the Victor series. The FB and FC models had bold American-inspired styling that made them stand out on British roads. The sporty VX 490 version was particularly loved by those who wanted a bit more excitement in their daily drive. But again, rust. Many Victors literally rotted from the inside out. What was once a common sight on every high street is now a rare treat at classic car shows.
Car 7, Morris Minor 1000. We cannot forget the beloved Morris Minor. Even in the 1960s, it was already an old design, but it refused to die. Thousands of people continued to buy the Minor because it was simple, reliable, and felt like home. Postmen, milkmen, young couples, everyone had a Minor story. Its rounded, friendly face became an icon of British motoring kindness. Many are still around today, but far fewer than they used to be. The ones that survived are the lucky ones.
Car 8 and 9, Austin Cambridge A60 and Wolseley, Riley and Vanden Plas variants. Then came the bigger family cars, the Austin A60 Cambridge and its badge-engineered brothers, Wolseley, Riley and Vanden Plas. These were the cars of the middle class, comfortable, dignified, with wood and leather in the posher versions. They represented British pride and respectability. But as the 1970s arrived, with new safety rules, new competitors from Japan, and changing tastes, these once proud Car 10, Hillman Imp. And finally, the most tragic story of all, the Hillman Imp. Roots Group's brave answer to the Mini, rear-engined with an innovative aluminium engine and clever design. It was supposed to be Britain's big comeback. Instead, it became known for early reliability problems and that famous imp grin that many mechanics came to dread. Production issues and strikes didn't help. What started with so much hope quietly slipped into history.
So what happened to all these cars? They weren't bad. Most of them were actually very good for their time. They carried families, created memories, powered a nation's recovery. But they were built in an era when rust protection wasn't a priority. British winters, road salt, and time did the rest. Today, when we see one of these survivors on the road, something stirs inside us. A wave of nostalgia, a reminder of simpler times, of parents, grandparents, first cars, first dates, family holidays. These cars didn't just disappear from our roads. They disappeared from our everyday lives. But their stories remain. And as long as we keep telling them, a small part of that 1960s Britain will never truly vanish. If you grew up with any of these cars, or if one holds a special memory for you, tell me in the comments, which one was your car? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because here at Motor Tales, we bring the lost stories of cars back to life. Until next time, keep the spirit of classic British motoring alive.